The normal rhythm of life in Northern Ireland was interrupted by the sound of Chamberlain's voice announcing the outbreak of war. Even though the coming of war was no surprise, it nevertheless was quite a shock to some to hear it. Others, perhaps much younger, didn't think anything of it.
I do remember the family being gathered around the radio and listening to Chamberlain's speech to say that since no reply has been received, this country is now at war with Germany, and the long faces and the serious discussion. But of course it didn't mean an awful lot to me. I think I went on reading Mabino or Downley, wherever it happened to be.
I can tell you exactly where I was. I was in Dunluce Street in Larne, outside Murray's paper shop, where I was getting a news, I think it was the News of the World, for my mother, and then I heard like more grown-ups saying that the war had been declared, but I was only 8 years old at the time, and it meant nothing really to me. It was just one of them events.
And my mother was there cooking meal, and I was there listening to the radio as well, and Chamberlain came on to announce war.
This morning, the British ambassador in Berlin handed the German government a final note stating that unless they were prepared to withdraw their troops from Poland, a state of war would exist between us. I have to tell you now, this country is at war with Germany.
And that was the beginning of the war. My father was out of the house at the time, and it was not until he came back, and naturally he was shocked and startled to hear that Chamberlain had announced the war, because he didn't know anything about it. He knew it was impending, but he didn't know it was going to happen.
It was a Sunday, 3rd of September 39, I don't forget that date, and it was raining. And we were dealing with these lists to try to work out what was needed for evacuation plans. Well, I was working in Stormont Castle. We were invited into the cabinet rooms to hear the announcement of that Chamberlain made. It was a roundish, you'd obey with a roundish room, and a large table and very luxurious leather chairs. It was quite sombre, and there was a group of us, I can't just remember how many girls, probably 8. And then there were these men, august bodies more or less, and some staff, and we didn't know what to make of it. A sort of, stunned silence, a kind of serious occasion, and it had happened, and that was that.
Poland being a Catholic country, our clergy condemned the Germans, for invading Poland. Opinions were divided because quite a few people had sons or even husbands in the British Army and the Air Force. There are a couple of incidents which stand out, and that was the burning of uniforms. British soldiers were stripped of their uniforms. Now, not a whole lot, but there was at least 2. They were home on leave. They were taken from their homes, and if they were wearing the uniform, it was taken off them, and if it was in the house, it was taken out of the house and burned over a lamppost.